The first night I moved in, I heard someone crying inside my wardrobe. At first, I thought it was just stress playing tricks on me. I had spent all day dragging my life into that tiny one-room apartment, one suitcase, a mattress, and a box of broken dreams. After everything I'd been through, the heartbreak, losing my job, sleeping on my cousin's couch, this place felt like a second chance. The landlady, Mama Chioma, had smiled so sweetly when I paid the rent. "You're welcome, my daughter," she said, "but never leave your window open at night. Never." I laughed. Lagos people and their superstitions. But at 2:17 a.m., when the crying turned into someone whispering my name from inside the wardrobe, I stopped laughing. That night, I slept with the lights on, but even the lights felt afraid to touch me. Morning came with fake peace. A man next door greeted me with a grin too wide for his face. "You're the new tenant. Welcome," he said, his eyes not blinking once. His wife stood behind him, staring like she was remembering me from somewhere. Everyone on the street smiled too long, too warm. It felt like walking through a church full of mannequins. When I told them I heard crying in my wardrobe, the man laughed. "Ah, don't worry, you'll get used to it." Used to what? That evening, Mama Chioma came again. "Remember what I told you. Don't open your window, and don't answer if someone calls your name at night." I wanted to ask why, but she just touched my shoulder. Her hand was ice cold. That night, I locked everything, window, door, and my courage. But fear has its own key. It started again. Soft at first, like someone praying under their breath. Then louder, "Amara," my name. The voice came from outside my window. I froze. The curtains moved like someone was breathing through them. "Amara, open." The voice broke into a sob and my heart cracked open. It was my mother's voice, my mother who'd been dead for 5 years. I ran to the window but stopped halfway. The air felt heavy, like it didn't want me to reach the glass. I whispered, "Mommy? Please open, my child, it's cold out here." Tears fell from my eyes, but then I saw a hand press against the glass. The nails were too long, the skin too pale. It smiled through the curtain. That wasn't my mother. I ran to Mama Chioma's flat the next morning. She opened the door before I knocked. "You heard her, didn't you?" she said. My blood ran cold. "Who?" "The one that calls. She uses the voice of who you miss most. That's how she enters." I stared at her in disbelief. "Are you saying something lives here?" She sighed. "Something feeds here. Every new tenant keeps her quiet for a while." I didn't understand, but her eyes looked old, like she'd been tired for years. She pressed a small black stone into my hand. "Keep this near your window. Don't lose it. And never ever answer her again." When I got home, I placed it by the window. But that night, when I checked again, the stone was gone. And in its place, a wet footprint faced my bed. 3 days later, I noticed my reflection had started to lag. When I moved, it hesitated a second late, like it was thinking before copying me. I told myself it was stress. Maybe the crying, the voice, everything was in my head. But then my reflection smiled when I didn't. I screamed and stumbled back. The glass trembled but didn't break. From the reflection's mouth, I heard a whisper. "You opened the door in your heart. That's all she needed." I threw a cloth over the mirror and sat on the floor shaking. I wanted to pack my things and leave, but something told me it wouldn't let me. Outside, I heard footsteps pacing slowly in front of my door. Then, a knock, 3 soft taps. And that same voice again, "Amara, your mother misses you." The knocking continued every night at the same time, 2:17 a.m. Always soft. Always calm, like patience wearing human skin. I tried playing gospel music, I tried praying, but sometimes the voice prayed along with me, word for word. On the 4th night, I screamed, "Leave me alone." And then silence. Too much silence. Even the crickets stopped. Then from behind the wardrobe came a reply, not from outside, this time from inside my room. I live here too. My knees gave way. I grabbed my phone's flashlight and aimed it at the wardrobe. The door was slightly open. Inside, something shimmered like wet hair hanging. I stepped closer, trembling. Then, from the dark, a pale hand reached out and touched my foot. I ran out screaming. Neighbors opened their doors, staring blankly. Please, there's something in my room. No one moved, not even a step. Just those strange, lifeless smiles again. Mama Chioma appeared behind them, shaking her head. You shouldn't have answered. What do you mean? I cried. She pointed at my window. She's part of you now. That's how it begins. I didn't sleep that night. I sat in a corner, clutching my phone, waiting for sunrise. But even when morning came, the light felt different, thin, weak. And when I finally looked at my reflection again, there were two of me. The other one was standing behind me. She looked exactly like me, same face, same eyes, same scar on my lip. But her smile was wrong. Don't be afraid, she said softly. You brought me here. You wanted company. I tried to scream, but my throat froze. She reached out and touched my cheek. Her hand was cold, wet like it came from rain that never fell. I'm what this house needs to stay alive, she whispered. Every new tenant must leave something behind. What do you mean? She leaned closer, her voice now inside my head. Your shadow, your laughter, your hope. Just one thing. I shut my eyes and prayed. When I opened them, she was gone. But I could still feel her fingers on my skin. And when I looked down, my shadow wasn't there anymore. I ran outside in daylight, but my shadow didn't follow. People looked at me strangely. Some crossed the street. I stood under the sun, waving my arms, nothing. That night, I knocked on Mama Chioma's door again. Please help me, my shadow is gone. She sighed deeply. It's too late, my daughter. Once she takes something, she keeps it. I begged her to tell me who she was. Mama Chioma's eyes welled up. We call her the waiting one. This place was her home before the city came. The government built houses on her grave. Now she lives through us. I realized then everyone on this street was just a shell. And I was next. I began to dig. I searched old news records online, went through archives, even spoke to an old man at the bar. He told me about Elysium Estate, the fancy name of my street. 10 years ago, this land was a cemetery for unidentified bodies. When the land was cleared, the contractor's wife went missing. Then his son, then him. The project was abandoned until Mama Chioma reopened it. That night I confronted her. You knew, I shouted. You knew and still rented the place. She cried. We all did. We have to feed her or she takes the whole street. I stared at her, shaking. Feed her what? She whispered. New tenants. I packed my bag that night. I didn't care if I had to sleep under a bridge. I was leaving. But when I opened the door, the street outside wasn't the same. Every house light was on. Every door stood open. But no one was moving. Then I saw them, my neighbors, standing still, heads tilted, eyes blank. And behind them, her, the waiting one. Her skin shimmered like oil and water, her smile too wide to be human. Leaving already, she whispered. You just moved in. I tried to run, but my legs wouldn't move. She reached out her hand. All you had to do was stay quiet at night. Then everything went dark. When I woke up, I was still in my room, but the walls were breathing. The floor pulsed like a heartbeat. Outside my window, the world was frozen. Cars, people, even birds mid-flight. I realized I wasn't in Lagos anymore. I was inside the house, not physically, but somewhere between life and whatever waited here. Then from the mirror, my reflection spoke again. You're one of us now, but if you want to leave, you must replace yourself. Replace myself? She nodded. Bring someone new, someone desperate, someone who won't ask questions. Tears burned my eyes. Never. Then she smiled. "You stay forever." Days passed, or maybe they didn't. Time didn't work here. Then, one afternoon, I heard a knock on my door. A girl's voice called, "Hello, I came to see the apartment." I froze. I wanted to warn her. I wanted to scream, "Run!" But when I opened my mouth, someone else's voice came out, Mama Chioma's voice. "Come in, my dear. You're welcome." My hands moved without my control, opening the door, smiling too wide. The girl stepped in, clutching her bag nervously, and in that moment, I realized I wasn't me anymore. I was the house. She signed the rent papers the next day, and that night, the walls began whispering her name. I tried to fight it, to break free, to warn her, but my mouth wouldn't move. The same way no one warned me, the same way no one warned the others. Each whisper pulled me deeper into the walls until I could see through the cracks, through every room, every breath, every tear. And when the girl finally heard the crying inside her wardrobe, I knew it had begun again. The cause had found a new name to call. Before I disappeared completely, I saw Mama Chioma one last time. She stood in the corner of my room, her face tired, her hands shaking. "I was like you once," she whispered. "The first tenant. I thought I could escape, but now I serve her." Her eyes glowed faintly. "You can still be free, but only if the street forgets you." "How?" "Burn your name," she said. "Everywhere it exists. Erase it, receipts, ID, even memory. If no one remembers you, she can't hold you." And then she faded, leaving behind only that black stone. It was cracked, now bleeding smoke. I started burning everything. My clothes, my documents, even the photographs of my old life. The fire hissed and spat black smoke, whispering my name over and over like it didn't want to let go. But as the flames grew, I felt lighter, like something was peeling off my skin. Then suddenly, I heard the new tenant scream from her room. I rushed out, or maybe I just thought I did, and saw her standing at the window, staring at something I couldn't see. Then she whispered, "Mama?" My heart broke. The curse had chosen her. I couldn't let her end up like me. I picked up the black stone and walked into her room. The air was thick, cold, humming with whispers. She turned to me, tears in her eyes. I heard my mother calling. I grabbed her shoulders. "Don't open the window, no matter what." She nodded, trembling. Then, behind her, the curtain lifted. A pale hand reached in. Without thinking, I held up the stone and shouted, "Take me instead." The world went white. The air screamed. It worked. The girl survived. I saw her the next morning, alive, packing her things, running out the gates. But I couldn't follow. The house had me now fully. I could feel every brick, every breath, every whisper that crawled through the walls. I had become part of its memory. And when the landlady smiled at the next person who came to rent, I felt the house tremble with hunger again. The circle continued. If you ever find this recording, this diary, or whatever's left of me, listen. Don't move into Elysium Estate. If the rent is too cheap, it's not a blessing, it's bait. And if you hear crying from your wardrobe, run. Don't ask questions. Don't pack your things. Don't even pray. Just run. Because once you hear your name in the dark, it's already too late. It's quiet now. The walls are sleeping. The street hums softly, waiting. But tonight, someone new is moving in. I can feel her footsteps echoing through me. She's happy. She thinks she's lucky. She just turned on the light. It's 2:17 a.m. She's about to hear it, the crying in the wardrobe. And I'm about to call her name. Welcome home. Not every blessing is what it looks like. Sometimes cheap things come with the most expensive price, your peace, your safety, or your soul. In life, before you step into new spaces, whether it's a house, a job, a relationship, or a friendship, ask questions. Don't be blinded by excitement or appearances. Because some doors don't open to opportunities. They open to traps that smile. Amara's story reminds us that the world tests our curiosity and our silence. What destroys most people isn't evil, it's the fear of asking why. Before you move into any new place, ask questions. Don't let desperation blind you. Pray, observe, listen to your spirit. Because peace is not just about where you stay. It's about what stays with you. If this story gave you chills, hit that like button, share it with someone who needs the warning, and drop our ask questions in the comments.